There are crimes of passion. There are crimes of greed. And then there are crimes that tear at the very fabric of human civilization, the ultimate betrayal. Picture this. It is a warm summer afternoon in New York, 1945. Outside a grand estate, there's a wedding. Music is playing. People are dancing, drinking wine, celebrating the marriage of the Don's daughter.
And though you say your love is true, this empty room is all I have.
But inside, in the dark, wood-paneled office of the most powerful mafia boss in America, the atmosphere is heavy. Through the blinds, strips of sunlight cut through the cigar smoke. Behind a massive mahogany desk sits Don Vito Corleone. He is petting a cat, and sitting across from him, sweating profusely, wearing a slightly oversized tweed jacket and holding a paleontology briefcase, is Ross Geller. Ross is terrified. His knees are shaking. He swallows hard, trying to find the courage to speak. He looks out of place, a nerdy museum curator sitting in the belly of the underworld. But he is a desperate man, and desperate men do dangerous things. He believed in America. America has made his fortune. He had a good job at the museum. He studied dinosaurs. He raised his son, Ben, in the American fashion. The Don does not move. He just continues to stroke the cat, listening. Ross leans forward, his eyes wide with a manic, unhinged energy. Ross begins.
A crime was committed against me. A crime so heinous, the police refused to help.
They laughed at me, Don Corleone. They laughed. The Don finally speaks, his voice a raspy whisper.
What is this crime, my friend? Who's broken your heart?
Ross takes a deep breath. A tear forms in the corner of his eye. It was Thanksgiving. His sister Monica made the greatest leftover turkey sandwich in the world. It was a masterpiece. It had a secret, an extra slice of bread soaked in gravy right in the middle. They called it the moist maker. The Don nods slowly. Being Italian, he understands the sacred nature of food. He took it to work, he put it in the refrigerator, he even put a sticky note on it, a very clear sticky note. It said, "Knock knock. Who's there? Ross Geller's lunch. Ross Geller's lunch. Who? Ross Geller's lunch. Please don't take me, okay?" But when he went to the break room at lunchtime, it was gone. The mafia boss stops petting his cat. He looks at Ross with a mixture of confusion and intense focus. "Gone?" the Don asks. "Gone?" Ross yells, his voice cracking into high-pitched squeak. His boss, Donald, took it. He admitted it. He said he ate half of it, and then he threw the rest in the trash. "My sandwich! My sandwich!" Ross buries his face in his hands, sobbing uncontrollably. The echo of his squeaky breakdown bounces off the walls of the mafia office. Don Corleone leans back in his leather chair. He looks at this weeping paleontologist. He sighs, a deep, weary sound.
Russ, I have known you for years. What have I done to make you treat me so disrespectfully?
Ross looks up, wiping his nose with his sleeve.
Disrespectful?
The Don raises a single finger, silencing him.
You don't think to come to me in friendship.
He never invited Don Corleone to sit on that orange couch at Central Perk. When Don Corleone asked if he and Rachel were on a break, he ignored Don's letters. But now he comes to Don on the day of his daughter's wedding, the happiest day of Don's life. And he asks Don to do murder over a piece of poultry and some gravy-soaked bread. But Ross didn't want him murdered.
I don't want him murdered.
He wanted him to suffer. He wanted him to know what it feels like to have something he loves taken away. He wanted him to be put on a forced sabbatical. The Don stands up. He walks around the desk. He looks down at Ross. The silence in the room is deafening. For a moment, Ross thinks he is going to be whacked. He thinks about dinosaurs one last time. But then, the Don reaches out and places a heavy hand on Ross's shoulder.
A man who does not respect another man's leftovers,
the Don says softly, is not a real man. Food is family, and throwing away the moist maker, that is an insult he cannot ignore. Someday, and that day may never come, he will call upon Ross to do a service for him. But until that day, Ross should accept this justice as a gift on the Don's daughter's wedding day. Ross stands up, grabbing the Don's hand and kissing his ring. He thanks the Godfather. The Don gestures toward the door and tells Ross to go in peace. As Ross leaves the dark office, skipping Dripping slightly with joy, the Don turns to his terrifying enforcer, Luca Brasi, who has been standing in the shadows the whole time. Luca Brasi is told to go to the museum, find his boss Donald, and make him an offer he can't refuse. The next morning, the museum director, Donald, wakes up in his luxurious bed. He stretches. He feels good, but then he feels something wet and cold under his silk sheets. He pulls back the blanket. There, resting perfectly on the expensive pillows, is a severed head. It is perfectly sculpted head made entirely of roasted turkey, stuffing, and cranberry sauce. And pinned to the turkey head with a large butcher knife is a sticky note that reads, "My sandwich." Donald screams, a horrifying, blood-curdling scream that echoes through the streets of New York. Cut to Central Perk. The sun is shining. The coffee is hot. Ross Geller sits happily on the orange couch. He opens a Tupperware container. Inside is a brand new, perfectly constructed leftover turkey sandwich. He takes a massive bite. He closes his eyes in pure bliss. Outside the window of the coffee shop, two massive mafia hitmen in fedoras and trench coats stand guard, making sure absolutely no one interrupts his lunch. Justice has been served. The family has spoken, and the moist maker is finally safe.